For the past 3 years, Apple's AirPods Pro have been my favorite wireless earbuds. And here recently, Apple announced the second generation AirPods Pro with a long list of improvements and updates. I've been using them for about the last week or so. The case looks the same, but it's a little different. And I have to say, my favorite wireless earbuds just got a whole lot better. I'm Jason Cipriani, and in this ZDNET video, I'm going to walk you through what I love and some things I don't really love about the new AirPods Pro. So as I said, I've used the AirPods Pro, the original, for the last 3 years since launch day, and if it hasn't been daily, it's been every other day. At times, it's been all day long while traveling. They've gone across country with me, some international travel, and they've helped in situations where my kids are fighting or doing homework and I need to drown out the noise with active noise cancellation and focus on my work at hand, especially during the pandemic. Now, the new AirPods Pro, well, they have a lot of improvements to active noise cancellation, and there's a new adaptive transparency mode that I actually am in love with, like legitimately. All right, so adaptive transparency mode is enabled by the H2 chip. That's the processor, little chip that Apple has developed for AirPods Pro, and we're seeing it make its debut here in the second gen. And they've used smaller chips like this in the past, but this one specifically takes transparency mode, which on the original AirPods Pro is something I never used. I had to turn down my volume of my music or podcasts too low in order to hear what was going on around me, and it just wasn't effective for me, especially when traveling in an airport. It's a noisy environment already. I had to turn down everything just way too low, and I would ultimately take the AirPods Pro out when I needed to hear something. So on the new AirPods Pro, adaptive transparency mode allows you to still hear what's going on around you, but the earbuds are filtering out a lot of noise on your behalf, allowing you to still hear music or your podcast while hearing maybe people talking nearby or overhead announcement or that car passing you, even though it's dampened and it's not as loud as it would be if you didn't have the AirPods Pro in, or in the old transparency mode for that matter. You're still able to hear it. I used transparency mode for 2 hours straight last night at my son's baseball practice, and that is the longest I've ever used transparency mode on anything. Ambient mode on Samsung's wireless earbuds, whatever it's called. I was able to listen to my music without any issues at the volume I wanted, but still hear the announcements of the girls' softball game, high school softball game behind me, as well as what the coaches were telling the kids on the field. So I was on the same page when my son left baseball practice. Apple nailed transparency mode on the AirPods Pro 2nd gen, and I absolutely love it. All right, so let's talk sound quality. Look, I'm not an audio head, an audio aficionado. I just know what sounds good to my ears, and I know what doesn't sound good to my ears. And there are some very good improvements here in the AirPods Pro. They do sound better. The sound, is a little crisper. I don't know if that makes sense. They just sound better. You don't have to have the volume up real high to have extra bass. They've added bass that can still have an impact at lower volume. Just the entire audio experience as far as what you're listening to, including spatial audio, which sets a sound stage around you, all of it just sounds better. Audio quality, big thumbs up, AirPods Pro 2nd gen. All right, so this is probably my favorite feature in the new AirPods Pro, is the fact that Apple still kept the same design, right? These look identical, except for a few sensors and screens look a little different. As the original AirPods Pro, they still have the stem that you can squeeze to switch between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. You could quick squeeze it to play or pause. But on these stems here, you can now swipe down or up, and each time I do that, I hear a little audio click in my ear to adjust the volume. It does it one notch at a time, so you don't accidentally swipe and turn your music off, or swipe up and you blow your ears out. So you use the little stem, and again, it's just a swipe on the stem and you can control the volume without having to trigger Siri. What took so long, Apple? Why wasn't this a software update on the original AirPods Pro? I'm sure there's hardware that's involved. I get that. But I wish there could have been a software update on the original AirPods Pro and not have to wait for the second generation model to do it, because previously, if you wanted to control the volume, you either had to get your phone or your Mac or your iPad, whatever you were listening on, and adjust volume there, or you had to trigger Siri and use your voice to turn the volume up, turn the volume down. I cannot tell you how many times I have found myself just naturally now over the last week adjusting volume without even thinking about it, just reaching up and using the stem on the AirPod Pro, on a AirPod Pro. Is it AirPods Pro for singular? AirPod, whatever, on my earbud in order to adjust the volume. This is by far the biggest improvement to the AirPods Pro experience that I can call out here in the second generation model. And it's so simple. It's so easy. It was just a small one. All right, so let's talk about the case, and more specifically, the changes Apple has made to the case. All right, so on the case, the bottom of the case, you'll see there are actually 3 holes on one side, the lightning port, and then another hole on the other side. So the 3 holes here are actually a speaker that are built into your charging case for the AirPods Pro 2nd Gen. And then there's also a little spot for you to place a lanyard. Now, Apple doesn't sell any lanyards, but they do have third parties that make them and sell them. So you could put a lanyard in here, hook it around your wrist or your backpack or whatever. So the reason for the speaker, though, is the case now makes noise. When you initially pair your AirPods with your iPhone, you hear a beep, letting you know the pairing was successful. When you start charging the case, you hear a beep. When you lose, because let's be honest, all of us eventually are going to misplace or lose our AirPods case or even the AirPods Pro, the speaker makes a noise. And I'll let you hear some of them here in a second. But one other change they made is that you can now use an Apple Watch charger in order to charge your AirPods Pro. So if you have your standard Apple Watch charger and you put it to the back of the AirPods Pro case, hear that ding, means it's charging, and now the case is charging, your AirPods are in it, it's charging as well. So you hear a lot of audible sounds now when interacting with the case. Pretty cool. All right, so if you lose your case, there's now a U1 chip in it, which is the ultra wideband chip that Apple uses to help you find devices, lost, misplaced devices. So you can go into the Find My app and you can now play a sound or precisely locate your AirPods using the Find My app. So I'm going to play the sound, and it's loud. You should have no trouble finding that, even if it's in the bottom of your couch cushion. And of course, stop it. You can also find your earbuds. Yeah, so you can play sound on your earbuds now. Well, you've always been able to do that, but the addition here is the case itself and the fact that you can play a sound on the case and track it down. And using the ultra wideband chip in it, you're able to precisely locate exactly where it's at to the inch. And your phone will guide you through and tell you exactly where to find it, just like it does with Apple's AirTags. All right, so there's one thing I don't really love or necessarily like about the AirPods Pro, and that's battery life. Now, don't get me wrong, 6 hours of listening with active noise cancellation turned on a single charge is fantastic. That's a big improvement over what it was with the original AirPods Pro, especially 3-year-old AirPods Pro with batteries, miniature batteries that we're starting to give out. But I've been spoiled by Google's Pixel Buds Pro and their 11 hours of playback on a single charge before you have to put them back in the case. So 6 hours in comparison doesn't feel like a whole lot. And it's actually 5.5 hours if you turn on spatial audio and active head tracking, which I have, but which I always use. But 5.5 hours even then is still more than enough for me to fly from Colorado to New York for example. 6 hours is definitely more than enough time for that as well. But battery life has improved. A little bit longer on the new second gen AirPods Pro. And again, these are very small earbuds compared to the Pixel Buds Pro. So battery is not going to be as big, but I wish Apple would have been able to squeeze a little bit more battery life into these things. 7 hours, 8 hours, that's a full work day. And a lot of people I see all the time walking around wearing AirPods now, AirPods Pro as well. And 8 hours I think would be a better number to hit there, but hey, it's an improvement, so we're going to go with it. If you include the charging case and the total amount of listening time based on putting the AirPods back into the case and recharging them, you're looking at 30 hours of total listening time. That includes that first 6 hours, or up to 24 hours of talk time. That's a long phone call. If you put the AirPods Pro in the case for 5 minutes, you're going to get an hour of additional listening time. So you could quickly top off while you're on a plane, take a quick break from listening, and you're good to go. Overall, the new AirPods Pro have some major improvements, especially when it comes to battery life. I don't know if I'd call a major improvement, but it is an improvement. Battery life, the H2 chip, and the new active noise cancellation, and the adaptive transparency mode has been amazing for me. And sound quality is, it's what you expect from an Apple audio device. It's improved vastly over the AirPods Pro original ones, and the second gen sound a lot better. Again, it's all about that bass. Never mind, I'm not even going to go there. You can order the AirPods Pro right now. They officially launched September 23rd. The price of $249 sticks around, so $249 in the US. We've already seen a couple promotions take $10 off the price of the new AirPods Pro. It's not a whole lot, $239. Well worth it if you listen to a lot of music or you rely on your AirPods to help you get work done and you use them as much as I use mine. Hopefully, though, leading into the holiday season, we see some of those promotions that drop them down to $199, $179, even if it's just for a little bit, in order to help put some more AirPods in people's ears. Once again, I'm Jason Cipriani. Thanks for watching this ZDNET video. Make sure to check out more of my work as well as all the latest tech news and tips at zdnet.com.